Happy Monday, everyone. I already saw you in the new year, but I'm thinking of today's really the day where certainly I get back into work mode. So I'm guessing probably similar for most of you. And I thought today we would focus on the inner critic. So it was interesting. I was obviously spent a lot of time with family, and I was hanging out with um, my fiance's son. He's 19, and he was describing how when he was, I think, 7 or 8, a classmate of his mentioned to him that he had really bad breath. And he said ever since then, he always has a pack of gum on him. And so the point that I'm trying to make here is we never know what gets installed in us, especially in those early years, right? We all have this inner critic, this part of ourselves that says, oh, you're not good enough. It comes from somewhere. It's not something I think that we're necessarily born with. It's installed in us as we grow up, and we get a sense of, our environment and how society works, and our family of origin, and our community treats us. And then we absorb that into this inner dialogue. And my good friend and mentor, Mark Coleman, who's a psychotherapist, but also teaches a lot at Spirit Rock. He has this wonderful quote here about the inner critic. The inner critic is the voice inside our heads, reminding us that we're never good enough. It's who lurks behind the insidious thoughts that can make us second guess every action and doubt our own value. And again, this idea of good enough, what does that even mean, right? It's always a comparison to, oh, there's a way that I'm supposed to be, and I'm somehow lacking. My breath isn't good enough. Maybe I'm not patient enough. Maybe I don't make enough money. The list goes on. And if we're not careful, that inner critic just runs the show all the time. So in the spirit of the new year, I'm thinking about, I don't know if any of you are doing New Year's resolutions or any of that, but for me, this idea of good enough is very present, looms large for me. And just getting to that place where I can be comfortable with, this is who I am. This is how doesn't mean I can't keep striving to be better, but enough is enough. And so I thought today to do a mindfulness practice where we just take a step back and let's see if we can get in touch with this inner critic, which is sort of lurking in the shadows for all of us, and see if we can just practice just being with this voice in our heads, and what are the areas in our lives where this inner critic rears their head and has us second guessing ourselves. So so it's this connection between mindfulness and then compassion, so self-compassion specifically. So let's try that out. Let's close our eyes. Take a couple minutes to just bring our attention inward. In this moment, we are enough. What we have is enough. Who we are is enough. Noticing the body breathing. Our body is getting enough oxygen. Sitting in our chair and just spending this time together. It's enough for right now. The ground is holding us up. The chair is supporting us. A very real sense we have everything that we need in this moment to just be. See if you can really touch into the enoughness of this moment. There's this natural tendency when we bump into the inner critic. That's this voice in our head that's judging, criticizing. For some of us, it can be pretty rough in certain situations, very judgmental and even mean spirited. In other moments, it can just be just sort of this niggling, dissatisfied part of ourselves. And I've come to learn that this inner critic, like a toddler, really young part of ourselves that just doesn't have the finesse or the skill to express fears or wants in a kind way. And so instead, this young part of ourselves just resorts to criticism. And the more we push it away, it's like literally, it's like pushing away a 3 or a 5 year old rather than as an adult, getting down on our knees, looking this little kid in the eye and saying, I see you. It's okay. I got this. See if you can make contact with that young, scared little kid. And just like with little kids in our lives, if we as the adult exude a sense of stability and groundedness and kindness, they'll calm down, they'll feel seen. That's the compassion part. What does that little version of you want or need? As the criticism is just an unskilled, fearful way of expressing something that's important. And pushing that part of ourselves away just stimulates more fear rather than compassion and love and understanding. Maybe we can set the intention in this coming year, these days and weeks and months ahead, to soften, lean into this little part, this young version of ourselves with kindness and curiosity. And I know for myself, there's this tendency to want to solve things rather than just let this little part of me throw a tantrum. It's okay. I got this. I can just bear witness and just observe and stay. And that's what mindfulness gives us, is the capacity to simply be with whatever is and just stay. Be that rock, that grounded adult part of ourselves that says, I gotcha. It's okay. In a very real way, this is what we're practicing with mindfulness, is the capacity to just stay with love, patience, be with whatever shows up, and trust that we have the capacity to be with it all. Go ahead and take a deep breath in. Long, slow exhale out. Relaxing the shoulders, your hands, belly. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another deep inhale. Slow exhale. Noticing the breath leaving the body. And hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, open your eyes. Come on back. Yeah, so I'll put it out there. It's a goal for me, is just to become kinder, more patient, more curious with that part of me that has a tendency to just, yeah, want to berate and be upset and diminish. And again, I think if we can see that voice in our head as literally just a young 5, 6, 7 year olds, it completely changes, I think, how we can interact with them. Because I'm guessing most of us, if we had a 6-year-old throwing a temper tantrum, we'd have the ability to just be with them. We wouldn't yell at them. We wouldn't criticize them. We have that capacity. So the question is, can we start doing that for ourselves as well? So hope that was helpful. I'll stick around for a few if anyone wants to touch base. Have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow. Thank you.